What is up, nerds? This is Jerry from Them Nerds with Tony. We're going to be talking today about the newly released Loki episode 4 that has blown all of our minds. It's just
Amazing.
a metamorphosis of greatness. But before we get into that, let's talk about our giveaway. We are giving away a Shang-Chi Funko Pop in Tony's hands right now.
Yep.
Please leave a comment below. Like, subscribe for a chance to win.
That
What do
is
you think, Tony?
correct.
What do you think of the episode?
Dude, this was by far my favorite episode of any of the three Marvel Disney Plus series that we've seen so far. Shocker after shocker after shocker. It was great. It was great. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, it did a really good job of making the TVA the bad guy within like 30 seconds.
Right. So, there was not a single useless scene or filler scene in this episode. We start off right off the bat. We learn how Sylvie was snatched by the TVA and her timeline was pruned. Not only was she taken by the TVA, but she was taken by Ravonna Renslayer. Oh no! And so, of course, as if she wasn't already becoming a sympathetic character, she gets to be even more a sympathetic character. She's just a little girl playing with her dollsies, and she gets snatched. It's great. It's a great opening
It also kind of gives you the idea that maybe the episode that she had, the last episode where she says that she really didn't know her mother very long and everything else. So we all just assumed her parents must have died early. No, it's probably because she was taken as a kid.
Yeah, she seemed pretty happy.
Yeah.
And then the TVA said, nope. So we get our first glimpse of the timekeepers in the beginning of the show. Also, just a quick little glance. We get to see them more later. By the way, spoilers, a crap ton of spoilers. If you're watching this, it's a pile of spoilers.
Like a refrigerator open for 24 hours, everything's gone and been spoiled. Spoiled.
So spoiled.
Don't chance it.
No. So we learn Hunter C20, who was the female hunter that was enchanted previously by Sylvie. We learn that she has been pruned. She's done. She's gone. She's away.
Well, originally they leave it to the idea that she just died, like she has succumbed to her, to the, her mental breakdown from her encounter with the variant. Right. And then as it goes on, you start realizing something's
right. Yeah. Big surprise. Shady organization does shady things. Big surprise. So Loki and Sylvie, at the end of episode 3, they were on this doomed planet. They had resigned themselves basically to the idea that they were going to be killed in this apocalyptic event. And at the beginning of this episode, we see them kind of sitting and having a moment. And concurrently, we see the TVA led by Mobius trying to find them. And they can't find them until she touches his arm. And choir of Asgardian angels sings. And there's a huge Nexus event that happens because these two have apparently decided that they are not going to be alone. They have feelings for each other.
I think that the basis of it is they care about each other. They combined, they're stronger, and that's what the Nexus event is, and that's why they're trying to eliminate these ones. One thing I did notice was some trickery by Disney because that scene in all the stills and the trailers that we've seen. When they're sitting in front of that lake and the planet is being destroyed. Previously, they showed it where it was like the landscape of a apocalyptic New York. You saw the Avengers Tower in the background and everything else, and that's not what we were looking at at all.
Yeah, there were also stills that led us to believe he was sitting with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
So tricky.
Yeah.
But
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
trickster.
Spoilers. That's going to be the final kick in the nuts reveal of Black Widow when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
She was Loki all along. So their moment doesn't get to last too long, right? Doors open up, TVA takes them, they're in custody, right? And they get placed in what do they call them? Time cells,
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a endless loop of punishment.
right? And we get the return of one of my favorite characters from the MCU, Lady Sif. Not much of a return though.
No, I
Yeah,
mean more lines that she's had in the last two movies,
it's true. Yeah,
even if it was the same line. But I mean, it's worked for Vin Diesel.
I am Groot. uh, yeah, so basically, her role is just to be Loki's antagonist in his time jail. She continually insults him and tells him he's pathetic and he's going to be alone, and then kicks him in the nuts and slaps him and goes around the other way and then comes back and does it again. It's like a really bad version of It's a Small World. You know, just in a circle, kick in the nuts, slap. In a circle, kick in the nuts, slap for all eternity. So while this is happening, Hunter B15, Wonmi Mosaku, I think is her name in real life. I'm gonna get it right one of these days. She was also enchanted by Sylvie. Hunter B15 was, and what starts happening to her, Jerry?
It seems like she's perplexed. Like she knows there's something going on, and that she kind of questions Mobius about what has been told to him because she's trying to put the things together.
Yeah, she starts seeming like she's questioning things a little bit, but you can tell that she's trying not to like show all of her cards because she knows that that's dangerous, right? So Sylvie is in her time jail. Hunter B15 comes through and snatches her away back to the what's it called? Rox Cart.
Yeah, I think this. Yeah, the supermarket.
Yes, the MCU's version of Walmart.
Which was smart of her because she had brought her back to an apocalyptic moment so that they can trace where she had gone.
That's right. That's right. I noticed that as well. So she takes her there and she asks her to enchant her once again so that she can see this memory. And she's, tears and I was happy. And she gets the full realization that what Sylvie has been saying is true.
Yeah.
That the TVA has been snatching folks and turning them into agents.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Shameful. TVA out here snatching everybody.
Yeah. And at the same time, you have Mobius asking what's going on what's going on, and finally, he's about to put him back into this time lapse thing again, and Loki lets him know, hey, dude, you're actually a variant just like everybody else, and he doesn't want to believe it.
Right. Yeah, we have these kind of converging things where Hunter B15 is getting information from Sylvie, and Mobius is getting information from our Loki, and also talking to Ravonna at the same time. And he's starting to kind of have this realization that something's not quite right. And he ends up having his celebratory drink with Ravonna, and he decides to be a bit of a trickster himself and do the old switcheroo.
I also noticed, though, that there was, once again, there was a lingering of the pen again.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would make sense that pen is going to be connected to either the pre-TVA life of Ravonna or Mobius, if you're asking me. Maybe Mobius was like a high school teacher or something, and that was the school he taught at. I don't know. Is this like Franklin Roosevelt High School?
Yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All he wants to do is grade papers and ride his jet ski, man. I feel that.
So he ends up walking out with Ravonna's whatever time pad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a nice little twist that he ends up being a little bit of a trickster himself.
Yeah.
So he takes it out. He hides, like any high schooler, and hides in the library and looks at his phone. And he discovers that Hunter C20 did not lose her mind. She wasn't going crazy. She wasn't breaking down. She wasn't deteriorating. She was getting a little bit too woke for the TVA.
Yeah.
Aye, aye, aye. And then what does he do?
He goes and to tell Loki that he's been right the whole time.
Yes, he blows the lid off of everything. So he goes in, he talks to Loki. He's like, all right, buddy, let's do this, buddy, old pal. And they walk out and womp womp.
Yeah.
Ravana's there. He can't get out. And it's you expect there to be some kind of like conflicted interaction between Ravana and Mobius, but did it seem that conflicted to you?
No, I think it was, but what makes me wonder how many times that has happened. And then also the idea that she had Find My iPhone on it. But she, doesn't seem, she seems like, she's used to the idea that people figure it out at some point. She just makes sure that she embraces them when it happens. She might, bothered by the idea that I think she does seem to have a genuine relationship with them. But
and for those of you who haven't watched the show and you're using us for your source here, we kind of skimmed over what she did to him, which was she pruned his ass. He's done. He's gone.
Or is he?
Or is he? I don't know. We'll find out. So she, ices him, goes into get Sylvie, finds out that Sylvie has been somewhere else because she's soaking wet from being in the rain, puts out an APB for Hunter B-15, and Sylvie and Loki are both marched to the Timekeeper's chamber. They go in. What happens?
Basically, it was the Wizard of Oz moment, go in front of the great and powerfuls and then challenge it. And
I thought that the Timekeepers looked a little wonky when they first showed them. I was like, for all the money they spent on SFX for this show, to have these guys look like, the band at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, "This is too easy. This is a fake out."
Right. So the action that takes place in the chamber, Hunter B-15 heroically comes into the chamber to stop Loki and Sylvie from being pruned. A fight ensues after Hunter B-15 releases their choke collars. And there's, fighting. And eventually Sylvie cuts off the head of one of the Timekeepers, and we find out it's a robot. It's one of the big three.
Yeah.
Robots.
The one that they saying the whole time, that has to be Kang. Look, it looks just like him. Yeah. It was animatronic.
It was an animatronic.
So he cuts it off and they realize that they've been fooled the whole time.
That's right. And did I miss Hunter B-15 getting iced?
Or they never showed that. You can see her laying on the top step still. So
right. Yeah, she was just like knocked unconscious or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to assume she'll be back at some point.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. So we get this impression that Ravana has been defeated. The Timekeepers are not really there, and Loki and Sylvie start to have a little bit of a moment.
Yeah.
And he's awkwardly going to confess his love like a middle schooler at the graduation dance. And just as he's about to confess his love
to
himself, yes, of course, because that makes sense. He gets
we get the end.
He gets pruned.
Yep.
Yikes. And as he melts away, you see Sylvie, furiously, attacking Ravana and, taking her down. And Ravana's like, "Go ahead and kill me." She's like, "Nah, man, you're going to tell me stuff." Yeah. And we think that's where the episode ends, but that's not where it ends, nerds.
No.
Why is that not where it ends, Jerry?
I guess because they wanted to give us 53 minutes. Because we get a mid-credit scene.
We get a post-credit scene.
Yeah. Yes. With an apocalyptic New York. Loki wakes up there thinking he's in hell, and he's told you're not there yet if you don't come with us. And then when you pan it across, you see three or technically four more variants sitting there: a
Right.
young boy Loki, the kid Loki, an alligator Loki,
Yes.
yeah, and an old man Loki, and a I guess it'd be an African Asgardian.
That's right. Yes. Well, I mean, we had Heimdall,
Yeah,
who was of darker complexion.
yeah. I mean, I assume that there was more than just him, but I think that which makes you wonder. All this time, we thought when they get vaporized that they are dead. Are they really being vaporized and dying, or are they ending up in just another multiverse?
We don't know. I bet we'll know soon because we only have 2 more episodes left to go.
Yeah, we'll definitely know in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah. Or will we? I mean, there's probably going to be another season of this, so I'm not going to assume that we're going to know in 2 episodes, at least not everything.
Yeah.
But so now we know we've got our Tom Hiddleston version of Loki has survived the pruning in some way, shape, or form. He's still around. We know Sylvie is still kicking, and she's got Ravonna at knife point, and she's gonna make her tell her things. We've got our first. Actually, it's not our first because of Heimdall, but we have another African Asgardian. I don't know if that's the proper term. Version of Loki. We got old man Loki, played by the incomparable Richard E. Grant, and then we've got Kid Loki and freaking Gator Loki.
One thing I did know about African Asgardian Loki was he was worthy.
That was true.
Yeah,
I noticed that. Yeah, which we talked on the last episode about how cool it would be for this show to continue as a showcase of all the different versions of Loki, almost in a Doctor Who style of going from one, event or one timeline to another, kind of getting involved in mischief, but ultimately setting things right. It would be super cool to do that and have it as kind of an anthology show where there's multiple versions of Loki that all kind of work together, almost like a Loki core kind of show. That'd be super cool. I know old man Loki walking around in his yellow and bright green pajamas with the gigantic horns would be fun to watch.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. I thought it was great.
Yeah, very exciting post-credit scene. That was cool because as soon as Hiddleston got fried, I texted Jerry and I was like, "Holy crap! Oh my god!" And he was like, "There has to be a post-credit scene," and he was right. There was. All right.
Also, the credits changed. They weren't the same credits that have been on the last 3.
Right. That's something that I've seen floating around the internet a lot, is like whether there's a post-credit scene or not, all these MCU shows, you have to watch the credits themselves because there are all kinds of Easter eggs and arrows that point you toward what might be happening next. And leave it to the MCU to make wall-to-wall minutes of the show important, except for that last part where they show like every Brazilian, Spanish, Chinese actor.
Yeah, but it actually is smart that they do that because that's how half the time we find out what these characters' names are going to be.
That's where we saw
mistakes.
Enchantress for the first time, right? Yeah, what an episode. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, you got the return of Lady Sif, which is something everybody's wanted.
Yep. Yeah. This was a very dense episode, but in a really good way.
And but yet it was a longer episode that still felt like it kept the pace.
Yeah. Yeah. Very exciting. I see lots of opportunities for them to branch out and do other things here. And, knowing, Ravonna Renslayer in the comics is the mistress of Kang the Conqueror, which we've talked about before on here. She's also known as the Terminatrix. You want to talk, Greek roots, that means she ends things. So I can see her kind of trying to just take out every Loki that she can get her hands on.
Hey, you kind of see her cruelty when she's in the elevator with Lady Loki, and she says, what was my Nexus event that caused you to take away my life? And she looks at her and is like, I don't remember.
It, like, as soon as that happened, it reminded me of the scene where Wanda tells Thanos, you took everything from me. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. Like, F you, buddy. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
magic and you're gonna die. It was a good callback, at least to me. It was very, it seemed very connected,
Yeah, there's
like
been a lot.
purposely.
There's been a lot of the, where they're connecting these shows together with nuances that kind of match up.
So
See,
good. So good. All right, folks. Hey, what did you guys think of this episode? Let us know in the comments below because you could win this Shang-Chi Funko Pop that's magically floating in my hand as if I am the Sorcerer Supreme. Wow. Anyway, I shouldn't move my hand too much. It makes it harder to edit the stupid box in my hand. Anyway, Jerry, any final thoughts before I send these fine folks on their way at this late hour?
no, I think it's just a shame that we only got 2 episodes left.
That's right. Yes. I don't know. I think we'll get multiple seasons of this. That's my gut. But yeah, it was a great episode. The next two are going to be just fire. They're going to be so good. All right, folks. Hey, again, let us know your thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook. Check out all of our other videos on youtube.com/them nerds on YouTube. And that'll do it for these nerds. Be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.
Later, nerds.